Oops, another political commentary. Let's hope it's not as controversial as my other political videos. But it's politics. What more could I hope for? Today we're gonna be talking some shit about Mark Dice. For those blissfully unaware of this autistic clown, Mark Dice is a right-wing political commentator. I wanted to make a video on this dude for a while, and out of boredom, I watched a few of his videos, and this one in particular I found to be the worst one out of all of them. Let us watch, shall we?
Yesterday, the George Floyd funeral was aired live on every major television network: CNN, MSNBC, ABC, NBC, CBS, and even Fox News. All 4.5 hours of it.
Well, you'd think that after his death caused a worldwide debate about police brutality and systematic racism, as well as being a complete tragedy in general, that they would broadcast his funeral. Unless you're gonna give some insightful commentary on why they shouldn't, right?
I don't know how much Al Sharpton charged the Floyd family to deliver the eulogy, but knowing his history of race hustling, he probably skimmed at least $100 off the GoFundMe page. As soon as it was done, Jesse Waters read from the teleprompter like a good boy, instead of calling out his network for participating in the media circus.
Welcome back. You're looking live at the funeral procession of George Floyd in Houston, Texas. A very emotional day for his family and his friends. Floyd's death igniting a nationwide debate over police reform.
4.5 hours wasn't enough. They had to literally follow the hearse from a helicopter.
Or not. Rather than give some insight to why this may be harmful, you're just basically saying, oh, yo, look at this dude broadcasting this. And that's about it. I'm trying to come up with more to say about this segment, but I'm genuinely getting nothing of substance from this.
As bad as Fox News has become, with the exception of Tucker Carlson, the last truth teller on TV, CNN is still 1,000,000 times worse.
What's happening? Why are these people together?
Oh, well, they're gathering together to protest.
Protest? I doesn't understand. What's a protest?
Oh, a protest is when people come together to show they are upset and disagree about something. They want to make others aware of the problem.
By the way, this is not a joke. I didn't edit this together and add the CNN logo like I've done in the past in obvious satire pieces. This really was a CNN segment.
Okay, it's a CNN segment. I'm more confused than anything because he's not giving any insightful commentary whatsoever. He's not criticizing anything. He's giving nothing of substance. Why do people listen to him again?
It wasn't just a segment, however, it was a whole show that they broadcast last Saturday, apparently deciding to finally dumb down their broadcast even more so that their audience can understand it.
Coming up, we're going to talk about inclusion and empathy.
Oh, those are some big words. What do they mean?
Hey, we're going to find out, but first, let's hear from Big Bird Sesame Street neighbors Gordon and Maria. They're going to help us answer this important question.
Hey, Mark made a legitimate argument. The problem is that it makes him look like a complete fucking idiot. The purpose of the Sesame Street segment was to teach children about the harm of racism and the purpose of the protests in a way for them to understand. They're not trying to dumb it down for their audience or shit on white people like how your idiot god Tucker Carlson says.
In other news that sounds like a joke, but unfortunately it's not, a woman complained to the Merriam-Webster's dictionary about the definition of racism, and so they're going to change it.
I basically told them that they need to include that there's a systematic oppression upon a group of people. It's not just, oh, I don't like someone. It's a system of oppression. It's a system of disadvantages for a certain group of people.
That's right, folks, it's a one-way street. Only white people can be racist. That's what the dictionary says.
Good fucking job putting words in her mouth, you absolute fucking moron. Never once did she mention white people. She's not even asking to change the definition at all. What she's requesting is to add on what systematic racism is, which is when a governmental system fucks over a group of people simply because they're not like them in terms of race. She never mentioned white people at all, but that won't stop you from putting words in her mouth to further your retarded argument.
And after hundreds of businesses in Minneapolis were looted and many burned to the ground where this whole mess started, now the city council is saying that they don't need a police department.
I think the idea of having a police-free future is very aspirational, and I am willing to stand with community members who are asking us to think of that as the goal, because So many folks in our community have seen us work on reform.
A police-free future. No police, says the Minneapolis City Council president.
In a country where the police are more likely to commit a crime than the average fucking citizen, it isn't unreasonable to defund or even abolish the police. Maybe if the police did their fucking job correctly, then the protests and looting wouldn't have happened.
And Sean Hannity made the mistake of bringing Professor Cornel West on air to defend the defund the police agenda.
You are hurting black people by acting this position. You are taking the wrong position. That's it. No, my brother, that stuff plays out. That plays out. Address the question. Do you? Oh my gosh, you have lost control. You're a dinosaur. You're an outright dinosaur.
If you didn't catch what he said there, you'll have to rewind the video because if I repeat it, I'll be labeled a racist.
So you can show the clip, but you can't say what he said? You're literally just repeating someone else's words. You could have just said that instead of using the shitty excuse you just made. Now, I did rewind the video so I could understand what that guy said, and I couldn't understand what he said. So if you guys could type in the comments what he actually said, I would really appreciate that.
And if you read books, you're apparently a racist too. NPR reports that your bookshelf may be part of the problem if there aren't enough books on there written by black people.
Now, this is the part of the video where I have to do Mark's job for him because he's so amazingly autistic. I read the article and it doesn't necessarily say what Mark is saying. What it's actually saying is to disown the themes of colonialism established when this horrible country was first settled. And if you're a white person only reading books written by white people, the chances are that these ideologies could have been subliminally implanted into your head without you might not even being aware of it. It doesn't necessarily say that you're a racist. But of course, Mr. Dice here doesn't properly explain anything because he's a goddamn imbecile.
And when you go to Amazon.com now, you're greeted by this gigantic Black Lives Matter banner on the homepage, and it links to a blog explaining how you're probably a racist.
Thank you for showing us that video, Mark. Thank you for doing a commentary on that video, completely dissecting it point by point and explaining why it's flawed. Thank you for not being completely fucking lazy in the slightest.
There's no end in sight to the madness, and now Cops, the long-running reality show, has been canceled because, well, people hate the police so much they've been clamoring for all police television shows and movies to be banned.
And nothing of value was lost. And we hate the police because they don't do their fucking jobs right and want to act like they're above the law when they're not. And the fact that Cops was actually cancelled because of public outrage is absolutely hilarious. And this is where I'm ending the video. The rest of it is basically him bitching about the NFL and celebrities while plugging in his shitty merch. All in all, it's essentially your average anti-SJW video. He gives very shitty contrarian counterpoints with little to no substance whatsoever. The fact that there are people who actually listen to him is fucking dangerous to say the least. But that's all I have to say. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all next time, and Black Lives Matter.